Good morning. You're on Ottawa Designers. We're here with Jozsef Petroczi. We're going to say it like a strong accent. How are you this morning?
I'm very well. Yourself?
Excellent. So, today we're going to be discussing property management, your skills in the field, if people are looking to get into it, what to look for if you're looking for a property manager. Can you give us a bit of a history on how you got into this field and who you are?
To go back a little bit in my time, I always loved properties. I was always intrigued by brick and mortar, I would say. So I get my first investment in my early 20s back in Hungary. And then, of course, I learned on a hard way that's properties is one thing to buy and another thing to manage, right? So I had a tenant who didn't pay the rent at the time, and I went through all of those little hiccups or challenges with properties can occur or can come across your way. So that was my first experience with property management. And later in life, I traveled a lot. I worked in many different countries. And I did a career change in 2019. And then when I started with property management professionally here in Ottawa, so I first started to work for the very company I manage and own right now. It's ENS Property Management. I work alongside the owner, Scott Monroe, who funded the company for 2 years. And after 2 years, we made a deal. He retired, and I took over the company and modernized, digitalized everything, and taking care of the day-to-day operations and growing ever since. So that's my
Very cool. So
entry
that's
to
a
the
long
industry in a
career.
nutshell.
A
Yeah.
long career where you've fit in different fields within the career, which is always the best way to do it. If you have your own, you've experienced the hiccups and you see where there could be changes done. So you mentioned that there are challenges in property management. Can you say what the biggest challenges are in property management?
I mean, property management is based on trust, right? So, and it's based on people. It's based on communication. So you need to be really mastering that art, or that's how you handle people, how you read people. That's really really important. And as well, you need to know your corners, right? And property management, everybody thinks it only starts when you buy the property. The property management starts when you decide where do you buy the property, right? You can buy properties in class A, class B, class C, class D, right? And it's all different set of properties come with a different set of management needs and different set of challenges, different set of surprises, right?
Absolutely.
So you really need to make a decision where you want to start, right?
Yeah.
In our
And
company,
that's a good point, is that there are so many different challenges in different fields. I mean, you could be in a low income housing, you could be in, where people are away a lot of the time, where you're doing short term flips, where you're finding, different problems within the building. So there really are a lot of challenges. How do you overcome those challenges?
I mean, you always find a solution, right? We are a solution based business, and that's our main bread and butter. Find solutions and be proactive. And find a solution for everything, right? It's nothing too small, nothing too big, what we cannot solve. Problem solving is a really, really big thing in this industry. So, you better to be a good problem solver and then look at the things from different angles. Sometimes one side of the coin doesn't work, it's going to work another side of the coin, or a big door doesn't work, a small door is going to work, right? So you really need to find a good fit. Sometimes you need to go with a big contractor for certain reasons, and sometimes the big contractor is not a good fit for a job, so you need to go a smaller contractor. It really comes down to your experience, I would say, how you can put that project together and come alive.
That's a good point. So, psychology, reading what is needed. And it's very true. Sometimes a big contractor is the way to go. And sometimes having a small someone that you can have come in and be very accessible and fast at that time is the way to go. How has technology played such a big role in property management?
Technology is a great achievement for us. I mean, it's making our life, I would say, very easily. On one end, you could call it's really easy to do property management because, I mean, everybody has cameras, everybody can take pictures, or you can send videos, right? So that's a big help for us, right? And on the other hand as well, not everybody technically advanced, right? You still need to be able to handle issues over the phone, or still need to be able to jump in your car and meet some senior tenants and go talk to them face to face, right? So technology does not replace everything, but it's definitely a big help. I mean, we are very technologically advanced, digitally savvy. We have all the platforms. Everything is digitalized for us. Rent collection, reports, communication with our owners. It's everything's in central one place, and that makes everybody's involved. It's easier. My client can check their balances 24/7. They can see the copy of the bills 24/7 anywhere in the world. They don't need to email me, can you send me this, can you send me that, right? Information is there, readily available. Same for the tenants. I have a leaky tap in my kitchen. They just take a picture, go on the app. I have a leaky tap in my picture. I send it over to my plumber. Hey, go fix it up. Very easy on one
That's
point.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
so true. Technology has just expanded so much. Even, you go for an Airbnb, that's a different type of property management and all that. But even having the codes on, door locks and cameras, people can see, oh, you said you had 4 guests coming. Nope, there's actually 6 guests. You owe us extra for this. That actually happened on New Year's when we were in Lake Placid. My son had a few extra friends come, and we got a message from the owner of the property saying, hey, there's 2 extra guests here and they look like adults. They were teenagers. So we had to explain that, but we got dinged for that. So that was interesting. So what are the tools or software that you recommend to people that are looking to get into property management, or the ones that you use?
I mean, tools and software is also coming down to the size of the operations, what you are running, or what the size of the operation you foresee running, right? So, and everybody needs to make their own decision what they like software-wise. I use Buildium, right? That's number one software around property management now. It's very popular in the US, very popular here in Canada. Many of the tenants knows it's very trusted, very safe platform. So I like that one. I go by that. That one also have a different levels of service what you can buy. So if you're running smaller operations, you can buy a smaller package, mid package, or a full end package with APIs and link everything together. So there's really endless. And of course, if you're running multi-thousands operations, then you need a different set of software, and then you need to upgrade for a different, more custom-made solutions, right? So that comes down to the software, of course. Who is your processor for online payments? How does it link into your system? That's another big question at the moment. And also we use digital app for all our inspections for incoming tenants, outgoing tenants, seasonal inspections. Whatever we do, everything we recommend, report and record in the app, and it's tied into our system. So again, as soon as the report is ready, I can share it with my client with press of a button. So it's all done.
So
Yeah,
handy
it's
to
no
have
more.
everyone linked in on the same thing. That must just make your life so much easier, and everyone else's. How
Absolutely.
is having a strong relationship with your tenants and with the owners so crucial for you in this field?
I mean, I always consider myself as a private banker, right? Private bankers are not easy to come by, and if you find a good one, you always keep it and you recommend it, right? So that's how I live my day, and I take good care of my clients. I get lots of recommendations, lots of referrals, which I'm very thankful for. With the tenants, I do 2 inspections a year, so either myself or someone from my team is going to the places we manage twice a year. So let's give a good fabric to build a relationship. Most of our tenancies are long term, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So it's not really 1 year or 2 years. Everybody get into the house, they try to stay as long as they can there. So we have a really good understanding, and we always keep them in a loop, right? If something is coming up, let's say Easter or Christmas, New Year's, we always tell them, okay, the office is closed on this and this time. The inspection is coming up. They can book their inspection on their own will. I give them my calendar and say, here we go, the next 2 weeks, please. What is good for you? 10 o'clock in the morning, perfect. I want to do it 2 o'clock in the afternoon, perfect. Just book it on your own. Because everything's automatically done. So going back to technology is fantastic, right? You don't need to do the emails back and forth and text back and forth. You just send the link and everybody is happy.
That's fabulous. So I can imagine that you've also endured conflicts. How do you deal with resolving conflicts, both with the tenants and with owners?
I mean, conflict resolution, it's, going down to basics again. What's your personality? What's the point of a conflict, right? Well, how does it come? You need to go back to the root cause. You need to get an analysis done, and then you go from there, right? I mean, It's not one size fit all. It comes down to your personality. Somebody is more level-headed. I try to be level-headed all the time. Somebody is more hot-headed, right? So that's those things comes in. But we have a very proactive approach to problems and property management. So our goal is to avoid problems what could happen, right? So that's why we do our preventative maintenance program very diligently for our furnaces, for our ACs, our HRVs, our pools, hot tubs, or any other items that need attention in a house. Fireplace, let's say, wooden fireplace has to be inspected once a year. Gas fireplace needs to be inspected once a year. Fire detectors, smoke detectors, all those things. So we try to be very, very proactive, so we don't get there where it's a difficult situation. But if this happens, right, it
That's
happens,
the
and
best way.
then you face it and you solve it, right? Again, back to problem solving. A
Yeah.
situation there, you get to solve it.
That's the best way, is prevention, because then you can
Yeah.
solve all of these stresses of, the tenants saying, well, it's cold out, I wanted a fireplace, or I wanted my pool open at this time, and I could have had this solved. So being proactive and having those schedules and knowing, what when it's coming up every time of the year to go do that, that's a great point to have, to be organized. How have market trends affected this industry?
Market trends. I mean, lots of people getting priced out, unfortunately, of the areas where wants to live. The price increases has been quite big for the last 3-4 years. Ottawa, you can see like some places 30 to 40%, 50% rent increase, somewhere even more areas, right? So that's
Yeah.
a challenge. At one point, I have a lot of diplomatic missions as my clients, and sometimes they are surprised on the price what we charge for rentals here in Ottawa. So they need to go back to their home countries and they ask for more money and more allowance because they just cannot house their families.
Yeah.
So the situation is not pretty on a price wise. And there is a very little supply, right? Supply at the moment. So in Ottawa, we're looking around 1.9% vacancy rate, and ideal is around 3%. So we are right now, you can call it scarcity, or you can call it's a difficult situation to find anything. I have already emails coming in for me. It's just about March 22nd today. I'm looking for a house for July, looking for a house for August.
Wow.
I'm worried I cannot have my kids in a school because I want to have them in this school, so I only can leave this part of the town, right?
Yeah.
So it's real out there. That's people are having more and more
The real problem.
challenges to find the places where they want to live, right? If you want to live
Absolutely.
in areas of very desired areas close to schools like Rockcliffe Park, Lindenley, New Edinburgh, Westboro, Alta Vista. Oh,
Yeah.
those are really hard to come by places for rental market because it's traditionally an owner occupied area of the city. So if people are going out of the country for a few years, then the house is coming up,
Yeah.
and then people jumping on it as
And
soon
it's
as possible.
gone.
It's
Uh,
gone pretty fast. So yeah, it's definitely challenging out there to find good rentals. But I mean, I'm working on it to get more rentals on the market, flip them faster,
yeah.
and provide the service what makes everybody happy in the process involved.
There are a lot of new, actually, homeowners that are adding a rental suite for that exact reason, because there's just so little out there that, and then with the prices of mortgages going up and different finances, people are finding that this is a great way to make an extra income or to help pay your bills and to not go bankrupt or not be able to eat properly because you're spending so much extra money. How do you deal with eco-friendly? Do you encourage eco-friendly living?
Absolutely. I mean, eco-friendly living. I like eco-friendly living myself, right? So when I bought my new condo, I was very intrigued about the factors of energy savings and new technology they put in there and everything. So I really look out for that. Eco-friendly. I only use the best paint when I'm giving out paint jobs with low VOC. So we always use top of the line paint for the houses, so you don't have the paint smell when you're renting out the house or somebody going 2 weeks in later. So that's number one thing. Gas fireplaces getting replaced with electrical fireplace, to reduce the carbon footprint.
Yeah.
Furnaces are always high efficiency. We do the best furnace out there, 96%, 97%, and so on, right? So there's always a
Something that you're doing
economical
bad.
eye on everything what we do, to make sure if we do something or we replace something is much better than what's been taken out. And energy consumption and energy conservation is always a number one point for us.
I love that. How do you stay on top of laws and regulations as they change and are different in different parts of the city and whatnot? How do you stay abreast of all that?
I mean, it's a really great question. I mean, education in this or any business you're running, you always need to be self-educating yourself. You always need to look for new information. You need to go to conferences. You need to do your own research. You need to have a good team around you, right? I have a great connection with my paralegal who is having answer for everything. So if anything happens, I have a great network of realtors. If I need an answer on anything, I have a great network of lawyers. If I need an answer on anything, right? So I cannot know everything on my own, right?
Yeah.
It will be mission impossible, but I have a
Sure.
network of people who do know everything, and then I have access to information. So that's how I keep up to date on everything.
That's so important in life, is to have a good team. And I was actually doing a podcast last night where we were discussing, some people that are very A type or perfectionists, such as myself. I want to do everything myself, get my hands. And it's something that I've had to really pull back and say, no, there's other people that are specialists in this, and they're going to do it better because that's their full focus. And you can still be on top of it as you are, but having your legal team that knows every little change that you can come and call back and see and be sure that you're abreast while still educating yourself is huge, having that team. What advice would you give somebody that's interested in either getting a property manager or getting into the field of property management?
That's a two question in one. So
Yep.
I will take it aside, right? So
Yep.
somebody like to get into property management business. Really look at your values, right? What are your personal values? That's number one, because that will be determining what values you can put into the company, right? So you cannot have one set of values and build a company on different set of values, right? So that's will be mission impossible. For me, trustworthiness, honesty, integrity, and transparency, those are my key marquee corners in my personal life. So that's what I'm building the company on, and that's what I'm teaching and preaching for my team and then people around me. So that's number one. And how you want to be served, right? I was in a service industry in hotels, restaurants, cruise ships. So customer service for me, it's been all my life, right? So I know how to talk to people. I know how to read people. I know how to listen to people. So all those details are really important. How you gonna be a great property manager, right? Property manager, you need to be technical, lots of knowledge, and a really, really good people person. You need to be able to talk to everyone, from prime minister down to, not down to, but from prime minister to all part of the society, right? If somebody
Yep.
comes from far away and different countries, you need to understand different customs, you need to understand different nations, right? Some things in North America is very common, and someone else coming from other part of the world is very uncommon for them, right? So then you explain the situation behind, and you ask them what is your custom, and then you learn and they learn, right? And everybody is better end of the day. So
I love that.
that's property management. If somebody wants to get into it, that's really, that's, I would say, that's the number one thing. Of course, do your market research. What part of the spectrum you want to work. Again, categories of A, B, C, D, right? What's your forte? You like to fight with people all the time, or you just want to have something a little bit less stressful on your day, right?
Yep.
So again, make a decision, and that's about for property management. If somebody want to get into it, if somebody wants to hire the property management, they need to check their track records, right? When the company was funded, why the company was funded, what is their mission, or what is their current achievements, what they stand for, what are their values, right? Do they the values aligning with your values again, right? So if somebody wants just the price, right? Price is one thing, but what the service do you get behind, right? So that's really important. My company is based on service and quality, right? So that's, if you get service and quality, that's usually not coming cheap, right? So I'm not getting clients on price, I'm getting my clients on service and quality, what I provide.
Yep.
So that's That's a number one thing. If somebody is choosing a property management, of course, do they have experience of that size, that part of the city, and what they can bring to the table, right?
Yep. Oftentimes that's the way in life in general is you
Yeah,
get what you pay for oftentimes. Sometimes
yeah,
you will find that amazing deal where you're getting, low cost, this, that. But I mean, even in my field with contractors, you'll see a quote and the clients will see, say the quote is $50,000 generally. So you'll have some people around 47, some around 53, this, that, and the other thing. And then you'll have one contractor come in 30,000 and the clients say, woohoo, this is the one I want. And I often warn them, that's a problem. You need to understand if you've gotten multiple quotes and they're all around the same field from people
yeah,
that are reputable, and you have someone else come in, unless it's your friend, family deal, there is going to be a problem. And that bill will end up probably with problems and with more hiccups, and the bill will go up. They'll have forgotten this or omitted to do that. So I warn people, don't go by the cheapest quote. Go by, reputation, like you said, doing research, seeing what they stand for, speaking to past clients that have used them, other people within the industry, other designers, other tradespeople that have worked with them. That's the same with you, is do a follow-up, find out who you work with, how do they feel about working with you. So now if somebody would like to have a future in this property management, where do you see property management heading?
I mean, property management is definitely in a upwards trajectory, right? Because as the housing market right now, it's more and more rentals getting built. So Canada traditionally was around 70% home ownership, 30% rentals, and that's now it's going around 64% ownership, 36 rentals. And if you look at the current construction project on the books and in progress, it's more rentals getting built than ownership. So it's definitely going to be a extended need for property management, quality property management along the way. So I see the future very bright for us property managers, business-wise. I see a lot of business on the horizon. I have already a couple of projects on the books that are going to get started to build now and coming online end of the year, early next year. And as more and more infills coming in, those sixplexes, eightplexes, 10plexes, 20plexes, right? So that's a good market for us. AI is a big thing. AI is here. So that's everybody needs to embrace it. If you don't embrace AI, you're going to be left behind. So I think those are the challenges. I mean, I'm talking to one AI developer at the moment, and probably going to make a deal, and we'll see what we can automate data collection, how we can manage our data better, and all those things. Because data, it's going to be king, right? So that's
Absolutely.
the number one thing, and I want to put a really good foundation for AI to start it on the right foots and develop it from there. And as a AI, it's a big option to automate a lot of things, but you cannot take out the human parts, right?
Got it.
Human part needs to be still there, so people know they can talk to you, right? It's really
That's what I
important.
really like
Yeah,
about what you're saying, is really the fact that yes, you're evolving. Yes, you're bringing in all the technology and whatnot, but you've never taken out the word service and reading people. And AI can't do that. You can't read a person and how they're feeling. And you can try to teach that, and there are ways, but combining what you're doing with having the modernization of technology and, computers, and where you can pass the puck, you do it, but you still remain with your team and you still remain with service. How can people get a hold of you if they would like to use your services?
and people can call me on my phone. It's 613-265-3521, or they can email me at info@e&smgmt.ca, or they can search me online, or e&smgmt.ca is our homepage, or just a simple Google search will bring all our details up to you, and you can reach out to us either by phone, email.
Excellent. Thank you so much for all this information. It was fabulous. I actually learned quite a bit, so I love this. And I'm sure we're going to be in contact in the near future with property management and whatnot. Thank you for being on Ottawa Designers. And you're with your host, Sandria Blench. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.